It's always amazed me how perceptive and vindictive sometimes animals can be. I grew up around horses and had a string of mules and loved them, absolutely loved them. Spent time with them in the mountains, rode on them, packed things out and in with them. Also had a friend a few years ago. I'm not going to tell you his full name because I don't want to incriminate the innocent, if you will. But let's just say his name was Brett. Brett was hunting with us up on a Colorado hunt, up in some really rough, nasty country, and we had this one horse that really was kind of a big pet when you got right down to it, but he had his ways, and he was very perceptive of when somebody was a little bit, maybe say, let's just say a little bit scared of him. So we were walking on an area, and I was up in the lead, and I was leading my horse, and we're on this little narrow, actually, ledge, just about wide enough for the horse and you to walk single file. And had gone on quite a way, and I looked back, and I noticed Brett had also thankfully gotten off this horse, and he was leading him like he should, just ahead of him a little bit, and all of a sudden I heard a commotion, and I turned around, and I could see this horse just kind of pushing Brett along with his nose like that. And I thought, well, hopefully he watches where he steps and watches where he goes. And I guess after a little bit, Brett had enough of that. So he stopped, turned around, and came around and hit that horse as hard as he could right there, and thinking he was going to make that horse stop what he was doing. And that horse just kind of looked at him, big, wide-eyed, and reached up there with his head and knocked poor Brett off this ledge. And Brett kind of rolled down there about 20, 30 feet in between the rocks, and thankfully he wasn't hurt too badly. And as I was walking back to where he was after tying my horse, because I couldn't turn him around kind of on that ledge, and as I was walking back to where this horse had knocked Brett down, that horse was standing there kind of looking over the edge of that side and watching Brett come crawling hand over hand over hand up there, and finally he gets up there and he reaches up there and he grabs a hold of that ledge, and he's just about to pull himself up. That horse kind of looked down on him and just walked over and stepped on his hands. And it took a little bit of doing for me to tug that horse off of him to where we'd finally get him up there. And thankfully it didn't break anything. It was kind of a gentle slope, but I think Brett learned a lesson. You don't turn around and hit a horse very hard across the jaw and thinking that you're going to change his ways, because if you do, a lot of times that horse is not going to do anything but cause you to change your ways. It was Brett also. He and I were in Alabama hunting, and we were moving camp. And I didn't realize it at the time, but he and I crawled in the back of a Suburban, and we're sitting there for people to come out to drive us to the next spot. After about 30 minutes or so, we realized that he and I had been sitting out there. We were the only people left sitting in the back seat of the Suburban, waiting for a driver that wasn't going to get us where we needed to go. And neither he or I knew where we were going to the next camp. Thankfully, about an hour later, somebody realized we had not followed, and they drove back and got us. You got to have friends like that. Sometimes things do happen, but next time you're on a horse and he kind of pushes you around a little bit and you get off of him and you're kind of leading him on a bad spot, don't turn around and try to hit him. Brett found out that was not the thing to do.